in an interesting development as WWE continues to build towards their next premium live event, Money in the Bank, an unexpected person is now participating in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and that person is social media megastar Logan Paul. Now, I just wanted to know, does this kind of heighten your interest in the match or the show? Is this a needle moving occurrence, if you will?
Yeah, honestly, and I feel like it's needed because last year was kind of ass. Like, no, like it was so drastic last year between like the women's and the men's, and it was kind of by default because of who won it and the way it was won. I don't remember much of the men's Money in the Bank, which is kind of upsetting because it's like a fun pay per view. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like bringing Logan Paul is fun to shake things up, especially since they are already bringing in Star Power with Trish Stratus. So I feel like it's a good balance because now we really don't know what's going to happen. We also don't know what Logan Paul is capable of. Like,
Right.
we see him do so much of like the unexpected. It's just like, what tricks does he have up his sleeve now for the Money in the Bank? So I think this is going to be fire. I think it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be nice to see how he operates now with multiple people because we only see him in a tag team situation and a one-on-one, and then we see him of course in the Royal Rumble, but I don't really count the Royal Rumble as working with multiple people because technically you normally work with one person or you tag team with someone else or you get jumped by two people. Now we're going to see him work with multiple people, so it's like really testing his skills,
Mm-hmm.
but I like how they're feeding it to him very gradually. So I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to play out. But how do you feel about Logan Paul being in the Money in the Bank?
So one of the biggest questions that I had when Logan Paul faced Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia in that championship match was, now that he has main evented, now that he has gone against arguably the biggest guy in the company, how can he sustain this momentum while also putting him in a position where he can highlight his strengths? And I don't think that there's any environment that is more perfect for him to do both than being in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Number one, international premium live event. So they're pulling out all the stops. They want to make this as big as possible and pulling out easily one of the biggest stars, not just in WWE, but in American media and entertainment. And Logan Paul is an absolute genius move. So that's one. Two, being in there with someone like Santos Escobar and being in there with LA Knight and being in there with Ricochet. These guys are not scrubs. They're great athletes. They're great performers. And they're also guys who, we haven't heard of being unsafe. And so for him to be in there with a bunch of guys who are at the top of their game and also safe performers, I think is just going to translate very, very well, because not only is I think that he's going to have a great performance. I think that he's going to be in the ring with guys that are going to make sure that he's good, that he's safe, blase, 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 blase. So I think, and then on top of that, like to kind of complement the first point, is that because he's one of the biggest stars, this is definitely going to be a draw. This is definitely going to be a needle moving occurrence. I wish we could somehow get Logan and Bad Bunny in there, but I feel like that. I feel like that would translate better if it was a show in the States versus in London. But I am a fan of seeing Logan in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I think that it is going to make a big difference when all is said and done. You was about to say something, so
No,
let
so I
me
was
let you
mad
go.
excited thinking about Bad Bunny just because, like, after what he pulled in Puerto Rico, like, I feel like this man could do no wrong. So he would eat down a Money in the Bank. It would steal all the charisma away from the women's match if they did that. But if they put the two of them, it'd be almost unfair just because. But I'm actually really excited, and I love that it's a different batch of names. Like, normally they kind of just like sneak in the same people. I appreciate the fact that we're seeing like a rotation of people in that we're not used to seeing in these type of gimmicky matches. So
Right.
I'm expecting a really really fun pay per view.
I agree with that, and I'm
Yes.
very, very excited for his appearance. But we want to know what you guys feel like. How are you feeling regarding Logan Paul's? Matter of fact, before I even go into that, I feel like the interesting part about it is, even with Logan Paul being in the match, LA Knight is over.
Oh, very.
He's so over. He's so, like, when he came out on the last episode of SmackDown, that was a very stone cold rock like moment for him where he came out, adulation of the crowd, the entire crowd was saying LA Knight. Like I love that. And but he's just super over. I had to get that off my chest.
No, it's funny that you say that because he even said like in an interview that he should have been in WWE already like years ago, and like it shows. And you just made a whole connection to Stone Cold, which is a huge compliment.
Yeah.
You know.
He has that energy, that dynamic. So but we want to hear what you guys feel about Logan Paul being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But we're gonna be moving on.